Alan Heil, a former Deputy Director of VOA and a VOA historian of sorts. Mr. Chairman and members of the board. I guess it was 60 years ago, last summer, that I was a lowly copy boy at the Newark Evening News in New Jersey. And up there on the wall, John Ruskin's not too often noticed quote, but it certainly applies to us. Upon a thought there fell a drop of ink. It made not hundreds, but thousands think. Imagine the thrill that I had earlier this year when we learned that more than 200 million people listen to U.S. international broadcasting. 164 million of them, 4 out of the 5 that the 5 networks you supervise have, in this case, 4 out of the 5 of those who follow them are VOA listeners. I think there are a lot of myths that are circulating abroad that I'd like to sort of set right a little bit. Myth number 1, VOA is dysfunctional. I beg to differ. It can't be dysfunctional if it reaches 164 million listeners, viewers, internet readers, users of cell phones increasingly around the world, each and every week. I think also that I would say that in all of this, when you look at the events of the day, what is VOA covering this very day, in this very year? You have, of course, those millions around the globe who viewed on satellite TV, on their mobile devices, they heard on their radios, three exclusive interviews with the Secretary of State in this very year. And what did the interviews cover? They didn't cover just anniversaries. They covered Ebola, Afghanistan, ISIL, the nuclear talks with Iran. Then there are those TV viewers who are treated to on-scene accounts as VOA reporters ventured into Syria to witness the ongoing battle for Kobani that's going on even this very day. Then there are those in Africa and elsewhere who watched or heard more than 100 VOA reports in succession, public service messages on Ebola. And finally, those around the world enlightened last week by VOA correspondent Jim Malone's superb on-scene interviews about the Senate race in North Carolina. VOA is clearly on the move in 2014. Then there's that other myth, the wasteful duplication among the 5 networks. In fact, duplication in content is actually minimal, at least if you look at the English websites every day. You'll find that there's precious little of that. And where there are strikingly different and often complementary programs listed on each of these websites. VOA alone also reaches most of the hemisphere, Indonesia, Sub-Saharan Africa, and portions of West Asia exclusively. So a thorough, impartial, concurrent analysis of all 5 BBG networks does make sense, but it should be, I believe, of all 5. The world is aflame more than at any time since 9/11. ISIL, Russia, and Ukraine, and Ebola all demand the full attention, as has been said here, content-wise, of both the management and the program producers. It's essential today to focus on content, not org charts. The board is to be commended for the selection as CEO of Andy Lack, a highly qualified and energetic executive. It raises in my mind one suggestion. Might the board let him determine the scope and timing of any new surveys that are to take place, as much as they may be needed? As Edward R. Murrow once said of all U.S. overseas international and cultural programming, our goal is not to capture men's minds, but to free them. That's the core mission of VOA and the other networks. They are performing it well for growing and newly empowered audiences, and they are working together to do so. I hope the board will support and enhance this noble effort that means so much to the nation's security. Thank you.